2. Have you ever felt like an underdog? Like you were overlooked, underestimated, or just plain forgotten? Well, today we're diving into the incredible story of a shepherd boy who became a king, a poet who became a warrior, and a man after God's own heart, despite his many flaws. This is the epic life of David. Our story begins not in a palace, but in the dusty fields of Bethlehem, Sp. While the prophet Samuel is searching for Israel's next king, he reviews the impressive sons of a man named Jesse. One by one, they're presented, tall and strong. But God tells Samuel, the Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So, who is left? Oh, right, the youngest son, David, who's out watching the sheep. Nobody even thought to call him in. But when Samuel sees him, he knows. This is the one. A young, ruddy shepherd boy is anointed as the future king of Israel. It's a powerful reminder that your current position doesn't define your future potential. God often chooses the unlikely to do the incredible. While the current king, Saul, is tormented by an evil spirit, he needs someone to soothe him with music. And who gets the call? The talented harp player from Bethlehem, David. So David enters the royal court, not as a king in waiting, but as a musician, serves Saul faithfully, bringing him peace with his melodies. He's learning the ways of the court, being patient, and serving in a small role while waiting for God's bigger plan to unfold. Then comes one of the most famous showdowns in history. The Philistine army has a champion, a giant named Goliath, who taunts the Israelite army for 40 days. Everyone is terrified. No soldier dares to fight him, but David, delivering food to his brothers on the front lines, hears Goliath's insults against God and Israel. He's not having it. While King Saul and the seasoned warriors see an unstoppable giant, David sees a man defying the living God. Filled with faith, not fear, David says, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." Sp. He turns down the king's heavy armor, picks up 5 smooth stones and his trusty sling, and faces the giant. With a single, well-aimed stone, David brings Goliath down. He proves that it's not about the size of the giant in front of you, but the size of the God beside you. This victory makes David a national hero overnight. The people sing, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." This popularity, however, ignites a dangerous jealousy in King Saul. The same King David once soothed with his harp now tries to kill him, not once, but multiple times. Saul's admiration turns to rage, and David is forced to run for his life. For years, David lives as a fugitive, hiding in caves, deserts, and even in enemy territory. He gathers a loyal band of followers, a group of misfits and outcasts who see the leader in him. This period in the wilderness was his training ground. It was a time of immense hardship, but it was also where he wrote many of the beautiful psalms we read today, pouring out his heart to God in moments of fear, desperation, and unwavering trust. Twice, David has the opportunity to end his suffering and kill Saul. He finds the king vulnerable and asleep. His men urge him to strike, to take the throne that is rightfully his. But David refuses. He says, "I will not lay my hand on the Lord's anointed." David chooses to trust God's timing and God's justice, rather than taking matters into his own hands. This shows incredible character and restraint, demonstrating his deep respect for God's authority. Eventually, Saul and his son, David's beloved friend Jonathan, die in battle against the Philistines. When David hears the news, he doesn't celebrate. He mourns deeply. He rips his clothes and weeps for the king who hunted him and the friend who loved him. His lament is a powerful display of grace and compassion. After Saul's death, David is finally crowned king, first over Judah and then over all of Israel. His reign marks a golden age for the nation. He captures Jerusalem from the Jebusites and makes it his capital, the city of David. He brings the Ark of the Covenant, representing God's presence, into the city with joyful celebration, dancing before the Lord with all his might. Under his leadership, the kingdom is united and expanded. He is a brilliant military strategist and a just ruler. It seems like the ultimate success story. The shepherd boy is now the powerful king, blessed and favored by God. But this is also where David's story takes a tragic turn. One evening, at the height of his power, David stays in Jerusalem while his army is at war. From his rooftop, he sees a beautiful woman named Bathsheba bathing. Instead of turning away, he gives in to lust. He sends for her, and she becomes pregnant. To cover up his sin, David arranges for her husband, Uriah, one of his most loyal soldiers, to be killed in battle. David thought he had gotten away with it. But you can't hide sin from God. The prophet Nathan confronts the king with a parable about a rich man who steals a poor man's only lamb. David, full of righteous anger, declares that the rich man deserves to die. Nathan's reply is chilling. "You are the man," thoughts. Hit David like a lightning bolt. He is utterly broken. He doesn't make excuses. He doesn't blame anyone else. He confesses, "I have sinned against the Lord." His heartfelt repentance is captured in Psalm, a raw and honest plea for mercy and a clean heart. He begs God, "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." God forgives David, but his actions have severe consequences. The sword, as Nathan prophesied, never departs from his house. His family is plagued by betrayal, rebellion, and heartbreak for the rest of his life. His sign with Bathsheba leads to a chain reaction of tragedy. Despite these failures, and they were huge failures, David is still called a man after God's own heart. Why? Because of his response to sin. When confronted, he humbled himself, repented sincerely, and always turned back to God. He never lost his faith, even in his darkest moments. David's life wasn't perfect. It was a messy, complicated, beautiful story of faith and failure, triumph and tragedy. He was a shepherd, a musician, a giant slayer, a king, a poet, a sinner, and a repentant soul. His story teaches us that God can use anyone, no matter how insignificant they seem. It shows us the destructive power of sin, but also the even greater power of repentance and God's amazing grace. David's legacy lives on. He wrote psalms that have comforted and inspired people for thousands of years. And most importantly, from his royal line came the promised Messiah, Jesus Christ, who is called the Son of David. The life of David is a powerful reminder that our failures don't have to be the final chapter. It's about having a heart that no matter how many times it gets lost, always seeks its way back home to God. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through David's incredible life. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into timeless stories. Let me know in the comments which part of David's life stands out to you the most. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.